the Rona, that Rona is it's still around, but it's not the evil, that evil lurking scare anymore, which
Yeah.
is obviously a good thing.
Yeah.
But at the same time, because of, like I said, because we've all been so used to the norm,
Being locked
which is
up.
like, yeah, being locked up, being in, me being in this purple ass room, all those things, have changed. Cause, back in the day, we were running and gunning every single day,
Yeah.
hopping from one place to another, doing a version of the Pascal Show live in various areas.
Several
So, but
different
that
versions of the Pascal Show. It's morphed and grown and changed over time, different ways. It's been cool. It's
it,
been cool.
it really has changed. I mean, it's changed a lot, but
Yeah.
I found the version that I have right now is the one that is like, so far, I have plans on something bigger. Maybe we talk about that later,
Okay.
but
Yep.
at the same time, right now, this is what works for me.
Hmm.
But at the same time, I still miss, I really miss doing the skits. I don't miss wearing the silicone masks and stuff like that, but I do miss the skits nonetheless. Because
Yeah.
taking those things off are a pain in the
I
ass.
wanted to, yeah,
Um,
I wanted you to say something about that because when we were in between takes, when we were just taking a breather, like literally, you're taking a breather, you're trying to peel off this mask. It's got friction because you got all the sweat. You're just steamy in there, smelling like booty hole. No, I'm just
yeah,
playing.
it was terrible, man. It was absolutely terrible because, I mean, putting it on, taking it off.
Yeah,
Then you're also layered up because I was wearing a trench coat with a sweater underneath, and then that thing, and then
handkerchief.
a handkerchief.
They,
So there was
you know,
no ventilation
no
whatsoever. So
ventilation.
it
And
turned
we're shooting
into
in
a
a
little bit of a
basement.
nightmare.
We're
And in
shooting
the
in a
basement,
basement. There wasn't airflow
and a low ceiling
and a low
basement.
ceiling, and you were about 11 feet tall. So
Yeah, that was a nightmare. So I kept hitting my head. Just a little side note, little behind
that's
the scenes, experience. I was
yeah,
constantly hitting my head
yeah,
on on vents and the ceiling and all that stuff because I couldn't see because the mask. So as
yeah.
soon as I was stand up a little bit, I would
Walk and hit the
hit my
vent,
head.
boom, and you hit in the same
Yeah,
spot, so it hurts more and more every time.
yeah. It's smarts, man. It's smarts. But again, again, when it comes to that, when it comes to these skits, or at least the Halloween skits, I'm just like, all right, I got to do at least
Right.
one this year, and I will be happy. And
Can you
it's
give
not
us a
only just
preview? Okay, do you have anything in mind for cold season for our holiday festivity music? You got
wait, what?
anything in mind yet?
Oh, you mean wait, what now? Say
Okay,
that
so
again.
right now we're in Chris Halloween, right?
Mhm.
But Christmas, Xmas, holiday, festive, New Year's Eve. You got something in the works for that? You're gonna keep it under wraps as a secret?
Well, okay, so I'm glad that you asked that. But first, let me just finish what I was trying to say. The
Sure.
Halloween video is kind of a way of getting some stuff out of my system, and
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
I feel like if I don't get that done, I feel incomplete. So Halloween is kind of like the start of it all, and then it goes from
Okay.
there, right?
It,
So
yep, it completes you.
as far as the holidays, my plan this year is to do a full blown holiday show. I did it last year. It was very watered down because of budget and all that stuff. But I'm hoping that this year I'll be able to do something a little bit bigger. So
Yeah.
as far as the holidays go, yeah,
Hmm.
we ain't done yet. We just getting started. We just turned on the car. We're
Okay.
warming up this mother lover because we got more coming.
Hey.
So
Okay.
yeah. So there's more coming. Like I said, it's just a matter of, I got a GoFundMe going on now because I'm trying to,
Yeah.
get that moving. Once that gets moving, and that goes to the goal, hopefully we reach that goal. When we reach that goal, we will have one hell of a holiday special on our hands because I got some big ideas that I've been holding on to, putting in
Okay.
notebooks all day long for the past few years that hopefully I'll be able to exercise and try to shoot and put out
Yes.
for this holiday for this year's holiday season. So yeah,
Yeah.
there's
That's
more
pretty
stuff coming.
exciting.
We ain't
That's pretty
done.
exciting. Maybe
Yeah,
maybe you can have a another Santa wrap in there, just as part of the special. Just sprinkle in all kinds of goodies.
yeah. I mean that and then some, right? Because it's not
Hey,
only just going to
Nicole.
be
Nicole just said last year didn't feel low budget, so thank you, Nicole.
a
Yeah, yeah.
a
That was a fun shoot. That was a fun
gang
shoot.
gang. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we had a few things in there, but I want to do more.
Yes.
So I got big. It eventually, depending on how big these holiday specials end up becoming, I got
Mm-hmm.
much bigger ideas. I got much bigger dreams and things that I've had and written out in many notebooks on what I want to do when we have a budget, not just
A
you know,
budget.
just putting this together with dental floss,
Yeah.
bubble gum, and spit. You know what I mean? So, but
Well,
still, that's the fun part, though. That stuff can be a
getting
lot of
creative
fun
getting
with
creative
nothing.
within limitations, right?
Yes, that can be a lot
Yeah.
of fun. But when you go, you want to do a huge ass flash mob in the middle of a intersection or something like that, just for an example.
Yeah.
Um, with a huge drone shot and it's right in front of a big old Christmas tree
Yeah.
and it's got to be snowing, you got all these things in your head. That
That's a lot
requires
of
some serious production,
It requires some coordination, some production. There's a lot of moving parts with things like that. And not everybody
Huge,
realizes the types of things that can go into that. I mean, you might even get
right?
to a place where you have to, you have to get permission from the city to use certain areas or whatever, you know,
So that's see what I'm saying is money, 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 money. It's
it all
money,
adds
money,
up.
money, money,
Oh
money,
yeah.
money, money. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yep.
So of course that's something that is a dream. I mean, or that isn't a dream, but you know what I'm saying. Something that big
Yeah.
requires a lot of moving parts from
Yeah.
the music to the choreography to the shooters to the editing to the permits, et cetera, on and on and on. Those things cost, and that can become very, very costly. So
Yeah.
hopefully one day we'll get to that place. But right now we're still at the beginning, the embryo stasis of this journey, which is still very exciting.
Very.
And I will also say this. I'm very thankful for the people who tuned into the show, the fam that I have. They've been I've been lucky enough so far, knock on wood, that I've had some really great support, a
Yeah.
lot of really amazing encouragement. I mean, just putting out that video, the Freddie Swims lose control parody, putting that out a couple days ago, the reaction has been tremendous, and
So yeah, that's another thing that
it
I've
means a lot.
noticed. Yeah, that's another thing that I've noticed. There's been some pretty consistent positive feedback with a lot of the stuff that we've been able to do, and it's been a good. I mean, it's your show, but there's been some. I mean, I did my part.
Yeah,
I did
you
my
you
part.
helping out, bro. You've been putting it in. You know what I'm saying? You've been putting in the work.
Working my tail off, man.
Yeah, man. I mean, hey. If you weren't putting in that stuff, I wouldn't. And making it look as good as you make it look. Then there'd be no videos. You know what I'm saying? There'd be no Freddie Swim. There'd be no uh, the Michael Myers one that we just recently did. Someone You Loathe. There would not
Yeah.
be some of these skits that are out here. There would not be those interviews the interview that we did with DMC of Run DMC. There would
Woo,
not be a
man.
Jennifer Lewis interview, the second one. You know what I'm saying? There would be none of those things.
Yeah.
I mean, without that camera behind you and the other one that you're shooting on right now. I mean, there would
Oh, that's
not.
right. It's in the frame. Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. You know what I mean? Without that, I mean, there would
Can
be
we can
no
we talk
no show.
about can we talk about the DMC?
Yeah, let's talk about it, man.
Okay,
This is your
man,
this is
listen.
your show. This is your show. Do it. I'm gonna sit
I
back.
say, can we? It was rhetorical. Shut up. No, I'm just playing. No, man, that was okay. So that was so cool. The way that the way that he opened up about some really sensitive guys. If you haven't gone to that interview, I implore you, like seriously, go in there. They talk about some really serious stuff that a lot of times people don't really get too deep into. We did a little bit with the Jennifer Lewis, just talking about mental health, talking about therapy, talking about ideation and sad days, stuff like that.
Right.
Those conversations. And listen, something that he said, talking about you. He said that he sees you on bigger platforms doing more of this, having more of those serious conversations. Um,
I will never forget. I will never forget that moment because he's not the only one that
no, he's
has
not.
said that too. And it's wild because I'm like, so then where the damn check at?
Yeah.
Where the check?
Yeah.
Where the check at, man? Damn. So I know it's all a process. It's a gradual climb,
Yeah.
but at the same time, I'm like, damn. Can we?
People
Can
see
we?
you.
Huh?
People see you.
I mean, I'm out here. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, I mean,
man.
it's the internets. You know what I mean? It's these internet streets. So yeah, people
These
are seeing
streets.
me, the them dumb streets. But at the same time, though, it's a process because you
Yeah.
got one. Okay, DMC. Oh, well, we're gonna talk about it.
Go for it.
Okay,
Let's talk about it. Let's talk
but
about it.
first, but first,
They
let me
tried to
say
cut
this.
you off, by the way.
What? Say again. What? Who's
They
trying to cut
tried to
me off?
cut you off. Like it was his people. It wasn't him. It was his people.
Oh
Tried to
yeah,
cut you off.
the DMC conversation was really great. Uh, we had a great conversation. He liked me, which is really helpful.
Yeah.
When you're having
Yeah.
these kind of conversations, it's really helpful when you have somebody going, yeah, I like him. He's letting me talk. But that's the
Yeah.
whole thing. It's letting someone talk
Hmm.
because when you're conducting an interview, that's the most important part.
Yeah.
Yes, podcasts are a little different. If you're at Joe Rogan, you're going to have a conversation with him
It's
and it's going to be a
yeah. It's a lot more
conversation.
back and forth.
Right. But sometimes the celebrities or the people that you interview or talk to don't want a conversation. They just
They
want
just want to talk.
answers. They want questions to answer and
Uh
that's
huh.
it.
Uh huh.
So of course, with that one, he said a lot and but at the same time it was kind of like, all right, this is an opportunity for me to just sling some questions at him and let him roll.
Hmm.
Each interview is different. You
Hmm.
just know when you can step in, know when you can step out. I always say this analogy, but it is kind of like this. It's like knowing your opponent, knowing that like you're about to walk into a boxing ring. And no, I'm not sitting here saying that every interview is a fight, but you're getting ready. You're getting to know who this person is and how they roll. Not
Mm.
every person that you interview is the same. Some people like to
Right.
butter their bread a different way. So you go, okay, this is who he is or this is who she is. And so we're going to roll with that
Yeah.
and let them do what they need to do. Because it's not like I have ABC, NBC, MSNBC, CNN, Fox News, or any of these other huge media outlets tell me what I can and cannot say. So for me, I'm like,
Yeah.
all
So
right, I'm
yeah.
going to let him speak. And I'm not going to sit there and go, like, when it's time to jump in, it's like double dutch. You jump in. Sometimes you get a lot of questions in and you actually get to have a conversation. And sometimes you don't. You see what I'm saying?
Mm.
So each interview is different. Also, I believe in sometimes it's the first interview is the getting to know you interview. Getting to
Yeah.
know you. And it's like, okay, so you rock that way. I rock this way. So
Yeah.
the next time we meet, it's going to be it's going to be a different conversation. It's going to be a different feel. It's the same thing that happened with Jennifer Lewis. First
Yeah.
interview was one way. Second interview was completely different. Second interview was more of a conversation than
Yeah.
a interview and just hearing her say what she needs to say. We actually had a conversation. Now
I really
with
enjoyed her.
D, oh yeah, she's
Yeah.
fantastic, and we could talk about her in a second. But when it comes to
Gave me a hug.
DMC, yeah, she gave everybody a hug. You know, she and I became fast friends, which is dope as hell too. But with DMC, I knew, all right, I knew right when we sat down, okay, this is going to be that kind of interview. It's going to be
Mm,
an interview. It's going to be
mm.
tough for me to get some of these questions in. Fine, I'm going to consolidate. He wants to say what he needs to say. Bet.
Okay. Yeah.
But now I got something I want to share with you. I'm going to share it here. F it. Why not? Looks like I'm going to be sitting down with him again in person this week. I won't tell you when. I will tell you when. You, because you're probably shooting it. But
You
but
said this week. I'm like, oh yeah, cool. Sounds
this
good.
this week.
Okay.
So, and we gonna be talking about some serious stuff like Diddy and stuff. So that is something that you guys on the show, you're getting an exclusive little
Preview.
little little crumb.
Yeah.
All right. That we're gonna be having another sit down here this week. When?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna disclose that yet. I will tell you, Sess,
All right.
after we're done. But yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah, we will be sitting down together in person and chopping it up. I'm trying to make that one live, just so you know. So it's gonna be a
Okay.
live show, a live
I'll be
conversation,
ready.
just so you know. But I'll let you know when we
Okay.
get done with the show. But yeah, each interview is different. Each interview, each conversation is different. Some people are a little bit more comfortable with allowing the conversation, the interview to be a conversation, and some people want to just answer questions and talk. You know,
Mm-hmm.
talk their talk, right?
Mm-hmm.
So each one's different. Now, going over to Jennifer Lewis, first interview, of course, is always the nervous one, or always it's the first pancake. Like
Uh-huh.
DMC's is kind of like a first pancake in a way. It's like he doesn't know me, I don't know him either. We're sitting across from each other, and it's like by the end of it, it's like, oh, I like him, and it's like, oh, I like him too. The conversation was cool. If
Yeah.
we sit down and talk again, it's going to be a different conversation because now we're
Mm.
more comfortable with each other. Now
We've
I
already
can
opened
push.
the door.
Exactly. Now I can push the envelope a tiny bit more
Mm-hmm.
respectfully, of course. So that's the
Mm-hmm.
same thing that happened with Jennifer Lewis. I can have those conversations. We also had to talk a little bit more or we had some things because we have history. It was one of my first viral videos ever, aside from my
Ooh,
skits.
that Kanye clip?
The Kanye clip. It was
The Kanye.
aside from my skits, that was the most viral video I've ever had as far as sitting down with somebody and interviewing that person, to the
Mm.
point where it was written in articles. It was all over the place. So because of that, as soon as she walked, it was hilarious. As soon as she walked into the room for the
Mm-hmm.
interview, she
Mm-hmm.
goes, "I need to talk to you about Kanye." I'm like,
Yep.
"Okay, what's up?" She remembered, you know what I mean? She knew exactly who I was. In fact,
Yeah.
she's like, "Oh, you lost weight. You look good." I'm like, "Yeah, you know, I've been on my fitness. You know, I've been running and biking and everything every day. So I appreciate it." But she's like, "We need to talk about that Kanye clip because, yeah." And was great. First off, I had a lasting impression on her. She remembered who I was. She wasn't mad about that viral clip.
Okay.
She was not, which I was very appreciative of
Right.
that, because she could have easily been like, "You just made me look so bad," and blah blah blah. And it's like,
Take it all
that's
down
not
now.
right. She could have done that, and she did not. So
Yeah.
she was able to clarify a little bit of that uh, during our interview or our conversation. But that time was a conversation because it was two people who know each other now, and we're actually having a real conversation. You know what I mean? Um, which was cool.
Yeah. Makes a
I
difference when you
appreciated
have
that.
rapport, a little bit of history, right?
Yeah. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
but like I said, you know, this is the thing that I really feel bad about for a lot of these reporters and these other interviewers, these other podcasters, and all that
Okay.
get put into the media junket, the
Mm-hmm.
media circuit. Which
Mm-hmm.
I mean by, like, say, Cess, you're in the new Smile 2 movie.
All right.
Let's just say that. You're one of the
Okay.
stars. You go out there and you walk into a room
Mm.
and you sit there, and the reporters are in rotation. So they're coming in and they're asking 5 questions. A lot of the time, you're asking the same doggone
Same
question
thing.
15 million times over.
Yep.
So you're
Yep.
sitting there and you're like, I don't even know what's your name? Yeah, okay. It
Who are
doesn't
you
matter
with?
because you're not going to remember. It's going to be a just a blur of interviewers that are coming in
It's just a sea of faces and repetitive
as
over and over.
exactly. So it's going to be a sea of interviewers, and
Yeah.
at some point, you're just like, how many times do I have to ask? Get asked that question. What
Yeah.
was it like being on the set of Smile 2? And you're like, oh, geez, man. I mean, can you ask me something new and refreshing? Because
And
I've
you
already answered that 15 times before, bro. You see what I'm
and
saying?
trying to be
So
fresh.
yeah,
Trying to be fresh when you do it, because
and you
you don't want the one out there where people are, you're promoting a product and then they're like, why do you look so tired and annoyed and just you look like you're disinterested? Well, I've been doing this for about an hour and a half. I've already answered the same question with 80 people right before you. So
no doubt. So again, I feel bad for those interviewers, and I also feel bad for the actors too, because
yeah.
at some point you get tired. But I feel bad for the interviewers. Why? Because you don't get a chance to really have a personal connection with that person. You don't have an opportunity to really say, "Hey, my name's Pascal. Nice to meet you, Sess," and you get that report. No, you're
Yeah.
going in. It's very fast food, very microwave, 5 seconds in and out.
Rinse and
I got
repeat.
my 5 questions. Thank you so much. Bye. They don't
Yeah.
remember who you are because they've already met 3 other Johns before you. You see what I'm saying? So
Yep.
I feel bad for that type of circuit.
Yeah.
And then of course, one of the tricks that I see a lot of interviewers do is they
Oh,
try to
tricks.
come up with. Say again. What? Say again.
Oh no, it's saying tricks. I'm excited. Let's go.
No, no, no. One of the things that they do is they try to ask a very interesting question. Something that they're like, "Whoa, no one's asked me that. I appreciate you asking me that." Blah. Here's my answer to that. Because sometimes they go, "Oh, I remember that John when he
Yeah.
asked me that question.
That
I like
interesting
that."
curveball question.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
John.
it's
Debbie loves that
yeah.
you keep saying John.
Well, I mean, John. I mean, because no disrespect to any Johns that live out here in this world, but there are a lot of
There's a
Johns.
John in the thumbnail. John Murrow. What's going on, man? He helped us shoot that
Oh yeah,
that Jennifer
yeah.
Lewis. He's in the
But you know
thumbnail.
what? But you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's hard to have a lasting impression on some of these celebrities, especially when you're just getting run through the press junket
No
type of
Diddy.
thing.
Right.
They just go, "Oh, you're part of ET. You're part of
Yeah.
Entertainment Tonight." Okay, cool. What are your questions? Yeah,
Yeah.
it was great doing the thing again, answering this question 15 million times before. Thank you so
Yeah.
much. Let's move on. You see what I'm saying?
I
So
got a
that's
question
what it
about a
is.
different
You
interview.
go ahead.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Larry Lie. Yeah.
My man Larry. Yeah.
That was a whole different type of interview. And the fact that, so when we got down there, we had to go through all the COVID stuff that we kind of talked about a little bit earlier in
Right, right.
this show. But getting over that hurdle, going through the freaking mansion and talking about, so one of the different things about his is you kind of had to weave together sort of a little bit of a life story, like what brought him to now and then
Mm-hmm.
what's going on now. And so were there any challenges that you would say, any specific challenges with that show in particular?
Uh hmm.
Sorry, a little bit of a curveball question, but at least you'll remember me. I
Not
won't just be another John.
not exactly. I won't be another John. So to answer your question, honestly, there wasn't really any type of challenge. The challenge really always for me, it's the challenge is always how do I explain this? The
Got
challenge
him
is
thinking, guys. I
always
got him on his toes. I
no,
got
no, no,
the
no, no.
interviewer on his toes. Watch
No,
out.
for me, it's really about having that person feeling comfortable right off the bat and
Okay.
making sure that person is comfortable on camera. Now, Larry Reed is always comfortable on camera. So I ain't worried about that part. It's a matter of, is he going to like me? Is he going
Okay.
to be comfortable enough is he going to be comfortable enough to have the conversation that I want to have with him? Because a
Mm.
lot of times they don't know what I'm about to ask them. Sure, they get some sort of list of some questions that I'm going to ask them, but it's very, very bare minimum, very
Yeah.
bare minimum.
Okay.
So for me, I go, okay, I want to make sure that first off that they're having a good time, that
Hmm.
they're comfortable, and
Yeah.
they can have the interview. Because if they don't like me right off the rip, especially when you walk right into their home,
Yeah.
he's inviting us into our home or into their home, and then he's sitting there going like, what if he didn't like me? What if he didn't like my vibe? What if he didn't like you or any of the other people that were with us? You see what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
it's obviously you want to make sure that you're coming in with a good energy
Yeah.
so that
The
it
whole
is
crew,
infectious.
everybody, because
Yeah,
like
so that it's
just me
infectious.
being in the, yeah, just me being in the background running multicam. Anybody that's on set, if you become a distraction or if you become some sort of a source of irritation to the guest or the
Right.
host, Pascal being the host, then it's a major hit, not just for you, but also it's a hit to the host because you brought me, and I'm the one that's irritating. So I also could have wrecked the rapport that you guys had, or with anybody else that we've
Absolutely.
shot with.
Absolutely. I have
So it's
I have
something that I try to keep in mind. I try to
I
minimize myself.
I have let go of shooters after a show, after
Mm,
an interview, after oh absolutely. Because some of them just have no clue what the hell they're doing,
mm,
and it shows, or they
mm.
do not know how to keep the environment kosher and calm and copacetic, or that they have no idea, like they just think every set is like a music video set where it's just supposed to be a wild time. They have no etiquette,
Mm.
especially if you have a especially when you have a guest call out
Yeah.
people on the set. Like, can you have him stop moving because I can't think when he's moving,
Yeah,
stuff like
that's
that.
yep. Yep. I'm aware of people who have been in those situations.
No doubt. And
Yeah.
I've been in that kind of situation a million times over. And
Yeah. Yeah.
I've let a lot of people go because
Yeah.
excuse me, because of that. So because I gotta there's a certain standard that we have to have. We There's a certain standard that you have to uphold. There's
Yeah.
a certain
There's
level of
professionalism.
professionalism. You just said it right there when I said it. There's a certain
Jinx.
level of professionalism that you have to make sure that you are presenting. And it goes all the way down even to the PA. You got to make sure that everything's on point, or they represent you too.
Yeah.
If they're out here smoking cigarettes or smoking God knows what else on the side, instead of being in there, being respectful and getting
When
the
you're supposed
job
to be
done.
shooting. Yeah. Or
Exactly.
working, whatever your job is, gaff.
Bingo. You see what I'm saying? So,
You, I don't
you
know if
know,
you see in the chat, Nicole just said, it's a package deal. Nicole, that is called the Milk Dud package. Okay, when you
oh
got
yeah,
Cess and you got Pascal, that is the Milk Dud package, and
milk dud in the morning.
that's Milk Dud in the morning. That's a high quality package right there. You want that whole pack? I'm done.
Because you start talking about packages too much, and then things start going sideways. So yeah,
Oh man, where's my baby oil? Just kidding.
yeah. Where's the baby oil? Where's that baby oil? Okay,
Oh man.
but yeah, interviews are always, they're all different. Every single one of them has been different. No two interviews are the same,
Right.
uh, and
You
that's
see,
just how it is.
you see Jasmine, she said, I can't with the unprofessional interviews. I'm thinking
Absolutely.
about, and you might have an example in mind, not necessarily yours. I'm talking about, I remember Cat Williams was interviewing with somebody. You haven't gotten Cat. He's going to be, we're going to get Cat
One day.
Williams next year. We're gonna talk about it. God is revealing some stuff. Snatch some wigs off,
We 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 going to manifest that. But I'm going to be real though. If he
Yeah.
I wouldn't even say a damn thing. I would just intro him and sit back and let him rip. Literally, I'd be like,
Mm.
"Hey, everyone, Cat Williams." And I just sit there.
You
And
gonna
I'd
give him
say
something to sip on?
I'd sit there and go, "Turn off my mic. Just let him talk. Let him
Just
talk
let
for
him
an hour.
talk. Just
Let him
let him
talk.
talk. Mm.
I ain't saying nothing, man." Because
Mm.
he's gonna be dropping nothing but gems.
Listen, here.
I might be the hype man in the interview. I'll be like, oh, like what Shannon Sharp did. Oh man,
Yeah.
come on, Cat. Go. Oh,
No,
come on,
that
Cat.
ain't right.
You know what I'm saying? That
Listen,
ain't right,
listen.
Cat.
Here's what I want. This is my
Oh,
dream. Okay, I want to shoot this. I'm making a
woo.
request right now. I want
Shoot.
Cat Williams, 50 Cent. Okay, the
Oh,
troller in chief, and I
yes.
want Monique also in the same interview. Can we have a four-way?
Okay. Okay. How much money you got?
I
I'm just
got good
being
vibes.
real,
Listen, it'll be good exposure for them. We'll pay them an exposure.
man. They don't need no
I love it when
exposure.
people tell me that. This is gonna be great exposure for you. Okay,
It's like,
tell AT&T that.
sure. Yeah, exactly.
Tell AT&T that.
Tell my mortgage that.
Tell my
Okay.
mortgage that. Tell my
Yeah.
health insurance. Hey guys, I can pay you an exposure. Okay.
Yeah. No. No. You can go sit down. You can go sit down. I'll go and exposure myself over. That sounds weird too. Never mind.
It does sounds bad. So rolling out of that, somebody
Yeah.
just said, well, let me see, Debbie. What's up, Debbie? Just said, get Orlando Brown. Absolutely not.
Absolutely. Are you kidding me? It'd be a train wreck, but it would
It
be
would be
amazing.
it would be a train wreck that you cannot look away from. So
It
actually,
would
yeah, that would be gold
it would be a gorgeous
for all the wrong
dumpster.
reasons. It
It'd
would
be a
be.
gorgeous, gorgeous dumpster fire. Do you understand that? It'd be multiple colors. Okay?
Oh man.
Multiple colors coming out of that dumpster fire. You'd be like, wow, it is so ugly, but so beautiful at the same time. I can't
Oh
avert my
man.
eyes. I can't avert my damn eyes.
Cannot
Is that
avert.
is that puce? Is that
So
magenta? What color is that? Damn. This is amazing. You know what I mean? But
that would
anyway,
just be
you were saying.
the most memeable interview. I mean, he's got man, the things people do to try to stay relevant. That's what I'll say.
Ooh, yeah. That's a statement right there, my brother. Because now we're going into a realm of, so you telling me you think that they're just doing that for attention? We even talking about Jaguar Wright too, by the way.
Mm, okay.
Okay, in silence. Okay, that's a first. So you really don't
No,
think?
well, I wanted to hear. I wanted to hear your take. I wanted to hear you. I thought you were going to go into it.
Oh, okay. Well, I was asking you a question, but here's the thing. I will answer
Oh, I'm
my
sorry.
own question.
I'm
Thank
sorry.
you.
Go ahead.
No,
Go
it's
ahead.
okay. Great job. This interview is going so well. Um,
Stellar.
I'm kidding. But here's the thing. All right. Jaguar Wright. I think a broken clock can be correct 2 times a day. That's what I
Okay.
believe. I think there's
Okay.
some things that she knows and there's some things that she's completely off at. Same thing with Orlando Brown. Orlando is God, both of them, God bless them, because they obviously have both of them are battling with their own set of mental health issues. But I do think that there are some things that he does know, but I don't think he knows everything. That's the same
Mm.
thing I feel about Jaguar Wright. Cat Williams, though, let me just say, Cat Williams has been talking about this for decades.
He's
He's
been
been
talking
talking
about some
about this
stuff.
for decades. He's been on stand-ups and it's been recorded where he's talking about these events. And he's like, yeah, I walked into a room. I'm at this party. It was amazing. And I walked in the room and I'm like, is that a dude kissing another dude? Like, he's been talking about this for decades. So, Cat, I feel is a little bit,
It's not
his feet are a little bit more planted on the earth than
okay.
Jaguar and Orlando, respectfully. But that's it. Go ahead. What were you gonna say?
Well. So, and here's the thing: is like we wrote dude off. I'm not going to say. Well, actually, I will include myself in some of that because I was like, not all of this stuff can be true. Like, it can't all be true, and there might still be a couple things that, but he has a very high hit rate right now. And he was written off as, people were like, nah, he's crazy. No, he's talking nonsense. But
Yeah.
look how many things have come to pass. Bro's got receipts, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like there's a lot of people that do have receipts, but they just haven't really done or said anything about it. I mean, of
Mm,
course, so that's just my personal opinion. Now, real quick, Jasmine just said on in a chat or in the chat, let's bring Lamont Hill on his interview on the other pod. He was on, okay, so he was on Piers Morgan,
mm.
Lamont Hill, and Candace Owens. They were both on the same podcast, and they were
And,
talking about this
and
whole
Candace
Diddy
Owens.
situation. Yeah, so Lamont Hill, Candace Owens, Piers Morgan, all on the same show, and it was an absolute ish show. It was an absolute, oh my dear God, for Lamont Hill,
It was a
Candace
turd storm.
Owens. Oh, it was bad because Candace Owens. What's crazy is, okay, whoever's yelling loses. Let me just say that. Candace
Once you
Owens
start,
is
yeah, because
standing
it
there.
doesn't make you more right. It just makes you louder.
Yep. So Candace Owens is sitting there, calm, talking, and I'll say right now, I'm not a fan of Candace Owens.
Oh,
Um,
bro.
I'm not a
No.
fan.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan. But something about her, she always comes out like it's not all of them, but in this particular one, wow. Yeah, Debbie, I will sit there and say Candace definitely ate. Debbie learned a new phrase. It's called eight.
Mm.
But I'm proud of you, Debbie. But Debbie, but Candace Owens did eat up Lamont Hill in that debate because it was not about what she was saying. Not at all. It was how she was saying it. Lamont Hill looked erratic. He
Mm.
looked like he was losing his mind.
Perception counts for a lot.
Because he was yelling the entire time. He was getting
Hmm.
so worked up and so angry. And it's like he was trying to explain himself, but he kept digging himself deeper into the hole that he dug himself initially in. It was just so bad. And Candace Owens just sitting there going like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. And Jasmine, you're right. If
just
you
let
can
him.
keep your composure, it counts for a lot.
Yeah. So she's just sitting there like, oh, I'm just gonna let him die on this hill. Okay. No, you didn't say that. You said something different earlier. Now you're trying to retract. You know what I mean? And she was just very calm. Same thing with Piers Morgan. Piers Morgan
Mm.
also said, "Nah, bro, you didn't say that earlier. You said something completely different, and now you're trying to make it sound like you didn't say something earlier." So it was a train wreck.
And you know what?
But that's
It
not how
actually
you
reminds
conduct
me.
yourself in these debates. That's just not how you conduct yourself in these debates. The one who yells loses. But go ahead.
Loses. Yeah, no. So that actually reminds me of another interview that I saw on the Tickety Talk, the clock app,
Hmm.
where it was like a round thing. They had Ben Shapiro in a chair, and then
Mm,
there were people that were talking with him about certain issues, and a
right.
uh, um, a trans man sat in the chair, and Ben Shapiro, although he was calm, bro, he was stutter. He didn't know how to react to things. He looked he looked a little shook because this person had strong, valid points, and kind of it felt like it looked like he really kind of made him eat some of his previous statements
Mm.
because I so yeah, when you can deliver a statement and you can keep your composure, throw the other person off balance a little bit,
Because
it goes for a lot. Perception matters a lot.
perception is absolutely reality,
Yeah,
unfortunately.
yeah,
Because everyone's seeing what you're throwing out. They're not in your head. They don't know what your intentions are, especially
right.
when it's such a polarizing topic. Now,
Mm.
Diddy, in my personal opinion, should not be a polarizing topic. I really think the dumb man be guilty, him guilty. That's it.
Yeah, we should be
And
able to
of
agree
course,
on some certain things. Some certain stuff is wrong. Some certain stuff is shouldn't be tolerated and not up for debate.
right. So but I do believe like, and now I get it that there's going to be people out here that are going to sit there and say he's innocent, so on and so forth. And I agree. He has to see his day in court and he needs to have a fair trial. I agree with
Hmm.
that 100%.
Mhm.
but there are some things that I feel should not be so heated all the damn time. But I feel
Mm.
like that is the general vibe. That's the vibrations that are out here as of the
Right now.
past. I don't know, out of the like the past 10 years, everything has been so
It
volatile,
started with a certain election, and then
so
it's just
negative.
been, yeah, it's been ramping up ever since, people got licensed to be ignorant and get just really really mean with people instead
Yeah,
of having heart to heart conversations and actual intelligent dialogue.
yeah, and this is the reason why I'm a little nervous about this election season.
It's
Not because of hold on, not because of who will get it's not even about the two people. Let me
mm,
just explain that. It's not
hmm
because it is because of the two people, but it's not the two
but
people.
it's not
Does that
just
make
that.
sense?
There's
Like what I'm trying to say is regardless of who wins, if
yeah,
he wins, if she wins, I think that there's going to be a huge like wave of negative energy that's just going to come out
I agree.
because everyone's going to feel some type of way about
Yeah.
him winning or
hmm
her winning. It does
yep.
not matter. So there's going to
Doesn't
be a
matter.
new narrative that's going to be out here. There's going to be new Karen videos. There's going to be
Yeah.
new types of whatevers, whoever wins. And that part, I'm not looking forward to because
Yeah.
I know that either side is going to be very triumphant, very boisterous, very they're going to gloat,
Yeah.
and it's going to be on either side. It doesn't matter if
And it's
it's
going to cause more
her or
division
him.
instead of unification.
Exactly. It's going to
Yeah.
cause more problems, and I'm not looking forward to that. I
I'm not.
really am not.
I
So
fully expect it, but I'm not looking forward to it.
that's one of the things I'm really concerned about for sure when it comes to the elections. But this type of rhetoric, this type of divisiveness has been around for so long. It's just been ramped up even more. And I'm like, man, can we just look at what can we just look at the policies? Can we just look at what they're standing for and make our decisions and not it be the color
Attacking
of our politics, but but actually but our
politics.
character
Yeah, yeah.
rather than us being like, oh, I'm voting Trump or I'm voting Harris for it to automatically turn into such a polarizing and damning thing. It's turned into that, and it's sad.
Yeah.
And so this election season, I wasn't looking for the last election season either, but this one in particular has gotten so crazy and has gone so over the top with all this propaganda and lies
Mm.
on both sides of the fence that I'm just like, I don't know if I'm ready for November
Yeah.
5th to come. I'm just
One
not
is
I don't know
definitely
if I'm
heavier
ready.
than others. I mean, than the other, but it's not. It's still politics. So lies
Yep.
are happening
And
on both sides.
but you realize that that's the world that we live in now. So
Yeah.
as soon as you wear a Harris shirt or a Trump
hmm
shirt,
hmm
someone's looking at you sideways. Somebody got a problem with you. They need to come up to you and tell you how they got a problem with how you want to vote for this particular and that, this, that, and the third. It's like let the person live his life or live their life. If they want to vote that person, so be it. Let them do that thing. It doesn't matter. At the end
I
of the
got a
day,
political hat.
November
I
5th,
got
it's
a I
gonna
got a Hawk
happen.
Tua 24. It just says Hawk Tua on there, red, white, and blue. Spit on that thing. No, derailed. That's fine. So I agree with. Let me see. Who was it? Nicole in the chat that said, "Come on, you
No.
remember Hawk Tua."
Sorry. No, Sess. No with the Hawk Tua.
No, we're over it. No,
No.
I agree with.
No.
I agree with. I think it was Nicole in the chat that said she looks forward to the ramp to the relief of being post voting, post
Oh,
election day,
when it's
because
all over and done, yes.
yeah,
I'm looking forward to it as well. But like I said, it's gotten to the point where there's just been so yeah, so much propaganda. And so that's why I'm like I I feel like
so
no
it
matter what, it's going to be some sort of negativity. And I'm not trying to be a
yeah,
negative person. I'm really not.
right,
I'm always thinking like, well, hopefully things will change for the better. I'm still grasping onto that, but them
yeah.
also realistic in knowing that, yeah, we ain't done yet. It ain't done yet. And how people are going to react this time around, I don't know, it might be even worse than it was, 4 years ago. I just hope
You
it
think
is.
so?
I hope I'm wrong. I
Yeah,
really hope I'm wrong.
I hope it's not worse. I have a question about since this is a camera channel
Yeah,
about
let's
gear
get back
and
over there.
chat and stuff. Well,
Let's get
a
back
little bit
over
of
there.
a segue. You haven't done a political interview in a while. Is that intentional or is that just the flow of things?
Okay, partially it's the flow of things, and also it's for my own sanity.
Oh, okay.
I'm just going to be
Okay.
real. It is partially for
Because
my own sanity.
you're gonna get hate from people like, oh, you're supporting so and so. Oh, you must be for this. You must be. Did you get some of that too?
Well, here's the thing. For me, it's mostly a balance thing.
Mm,
One, it's very tough to find. Sometimes it's easier to find one side than it is to find the other. It's really hard to find like one particular voice and another particular voice, if that makes any sense. So that you have a conversation when you have a conversation that can be more even keel. Um, Rather than it just being one side. If I have people on that are very blue,
yeah.
then I get complaints about how it's very blue. But
Not
if I bring
balanced.
people on, yes, but if I bring people on that are red, then I get people getting upset about how it's very red. So for
Yeah.
me, for my own sanity, and also both sides can say some really crazy ish, and you're like, man, can we just not say all this
Can we just
crazy
not like?
rhetoric?
Yeah.
Can we just not say this crazy rhetoric for a second here and just have a conversation and
Mm.
not give me the propaganda BS? Let's just talk about this stuff.
It's always
So
gonna
for
be
me, I'm like,
propaganda.
so for me, because of everything and for the sake of my own sanity, I'm just
Right.
like, you know what? Nah, like we gonna talk about it when Trump when somebody tries to take Trump out or something else happens to Harris or something of that sort. Cool. We gonna talk about that. And I'm gonna sit on that fence as much as I can so I can keep it balanced and try to be as unbiased as I can. I'm not perfect all the time. I'm
Right.
human. But at the same time, uh there are times when it's just tough. I
Mm-hmm.
used to do a lot of political coverage back in the day, and it just was hard,
Yeah.
for me.
Yeah.
Because of how divided people were. People were going in at each other online. There would be
And
fights.
that's
The other thing is too, people would drag me into their fights off the show.
draining. Like
And
I
that's
don't want to
draining
be
as
in
hell.
the
And I'm like,
fight.
I don't want to be a part of your fights. You
Right.
figure it out. Y'all fight amongst yourselves and figure it out. Don't
Yeah.
drag me into that stuff. But that would be the thing that I would see on the reg, y'all. And it was to the point where I'm like, nah, I'm not talking about this for a little while because it's
Yeah.
draining and I got things to do. I'm a family man. I got work to do. This
Yeah.
is not my job to be the mediator for y'all.
Mm.
Talk amongst yourselves
Mm.
and go peacefully. Love you, but I'm gonna be over here doing my
I'll be
job.
over here doing my own thing. I'm good now. I'm
So
good. Love and
so
joy.
so because of that, and it would be a lot, literally. Like Discord, my Discord would be insane. And then they would drag me into those things, and I'd be in the middle of these arguments, and I'm like, I'm not wanting to be in these middle of these arguments, but they would just throw me in the middle of the storm, and I'm like, I don't want to be the mediator for this. If you want to have this conversation, talk amongst yourselves,
Yeah.
find an even, happy ground, and keep it moving. Y'all are
Yeah.
adults. How is this even happening? So I saw that a lot. And so that, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
that's what I mean by for my own sanity,
Yeah.
because I'm not a babysitter. I'm not a therapist for every single person out here.
Yeah.
No, no.
I wouldn't want to be a part of
Handle,
that either. Like
handle your problems over there. Don't
yeah.
bring them to me. Do
Like,
not.
hey,
You
you
see what
got
I'm
some
saying?
underlying issues. It's all bubbling up. Can you handle that real quick? We'll come back
My
another
name is
time.
my name's Bennett. I ain't in it.
I
I'm
ain't
here
in
to
it.
tell you guys the news. Don't drag me into your BS, please and thank you. And if it's
Please and thank you.
a problem between you and a couple other people, or if it's a group of people having, man, I will shut the whole thing. You know what I mean? There's been times where I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm about to shut the whole thing down. F it.
Yeah.
Because of the political, because of the climate. You know what I mean?
People,
So
yeah,
lately I've been
people get out of
lucky.
control. People regress into childhood.
Yeah.
People start being, well, you're a dummy face. Clearly, you're stupid.
Yeah, clearly you don't know what you're talking about because this is blah blah blah. And it's like he didn't really say ingest bleach. It's like, oh my dear God. Oh, I don't want to talk about this every day. I really don't. Like we got other news and other things going on, and we're gonna talk about those things. So I'm gonna keep it moving. But
So from my
it became
perspective,
very
yeah,
draining. But go ahead.
from my perspective behind the camera, and I can't. So sometimes you have to really bite your tongue. And I mean, I'm behind the camera. That I can't. I try to be quiet as a church mouse. And
Oh yeah.
if I hear something crazy, some nonsense, like what did you? I
Oh
try
yeah.
not to react because the other thing too, if for example, I'm behind one of the cameras, we're doing a multicam, and I am in your line of view. Maybe I'm running the switcher. I'm in your line of view. If I react and create a reaction out of you, then I'm throwing you off. Like
Yep.
people can say some crazy things, and from my perspective, I just know my role, shut up, and just kind of sit back.
You want to know what really blows my mind and what
Please.
aggravates the hell out of me? And one of the reasons why I kind of am political adjacent, like I'm
Okay.
not super all the way in it. I
Yeah.
step to the side and I only talk about the big moments
Mm-hmm.
because there's a lot of people that aren't willing to actually do the research. There are a lot of people that are willing to hear what they hear from a friend of a friend of a friend of a friend, or they hear crazy stuff, crazy rhetoric on a microphone with no backing whatsoever, and they believe that to be 100% truth.
It was on the
So
microphone. It
so
has to be
there's
true.
so for me, a lot of times when I see this,
Mm-hmm.
there's a when I see people talk like that, I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
wow. Even podcasters or content creators that are very much in the political in that political realm,
Mm-hmm.
political pundits and commentators, and I sit there and I listen to what they say, and I'm like, wow, you're not even thinking outside the box. You're just in the box. Like you locked in the box. There's no way of you getting out of that thing. And it's like, wow, have you ever looked into it and thought about it for your own self? Not what your echo chamber says.
I was just gonna
Because a
say
lot
the
of
echo
times,
chamber will have you locked in.
but a lot of times, why are you saying that when you know for a fact that ain't the truth? Look into the information for yourself and then tell the people be be that person that's going against the grain. Think
Yeah.
for yourself, not what this hive mind, BS echo chamber thing is. Like, think for yourself, dag nabbit. Think for yourself for 2 seconds because you'd be surprised what you find out, or you'll be surprised inspiring other people to actually think for themselves and
Yeah.
do the look it up for themselves so that they can think independently and
You know,
critically for themselves and come up with their own decisions. Some of
but
these
it takes
people are going
more.
to sit there. Some of those people are going to sit there and go, "Oh, I see his point, but I'm still voting for her." Cool, I bet. But at least you looked into it. At
Yeah.
least you're omitting that type of propaganda rhetoric in your vernacular. You're throwing that out of the way instead of putting out more BS that these both sides are putting out right now. You see what I'm saying? And so for
Yeah.
me, that's the problem I have too, right? That's what I mean by like that moment of like having a breather, that moment of just having a chance to chill out and not
Yeah.
have to deal with the BS because, and for my own mental sanity, because of the crazy amount of people that are out here that
Yeah.
will literally say, well, he said it on a microphone, so
It must be
that must
true.
be true. And it's like,
Y-
no, it's not.
Tammy
That's
made a
what's so
good point.
dangerous.
Yeah, that's what's dangerous. And so people will take that and run with it. Tammy made a really good point. Said some people just straight up love drama, which is the absolute fact. It's truth. That's a big thing on YouTube. If you look at thumbnails, Cause so I watch a lot of stuff on camera gear. I'm a photographer, videographer. I have a camera channel.
Right.
Just about lens life is about the life behind the lens, right? And so even just with that, with gear reviews and people talk about this is you want to frame things in the most dramatic way. Like I'm switching to Sony. Sorry, Canon. I'm switching to whatever.
Right.
Sorry, so and so. Or this is trash. I'll tell you why. And I don't know. Like everything, not just in the political realm, but everything it gets more attention points if there's drama attached to it.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Man, we were covering a little bit, we're sprinkling in a little bit of coverage of this murder case on Karen Reed.
Hmm.
And it's extreme and it's an extremely polarizing case. Now there was a trial. This became a mistrial later on because the jury could not make they could not come to a full on decision on if she was fully guilty or if she wasn't, right? So it looks like they're going back into trial here very soon. But crazy, the craziness was how polarizing this case was. If
Okay.
you were Team Karen Reed, you were looked a certain way. If you were not Team Karen Reed, you were looked at a certain way. It was insane, And so, like I said, every single case, everything has become one of those things. You either team East Side or you team West Side. It's no other thing. It's that thing. What you just said. You are either Team Canon or Team Sony. And then
Yeah.
there's always somebody in there going, "I can't believe you switched over to Sony, man. Canon for life." It's crazy. I'm unsubscribing. It's
Yeah.
insane what you get from from some of these comments. And again, it is what it is, right? But
Yeah. I got to talk
it
about camera community real quick.
just insane. Go ahead.
Yeah. So I got to talk about camera community a little bit, and my friend Adam, the drone dad, he's in the chat, and he knows exactly what I'm talking about. Where people will something will come out, latest and greatest, and someone will try it out, and they'll if someone says something good about this new thing, but it's not the
Mhm.
brand that they've been with, everyone who follows them that's with that brand is mad at them for giving props to whatever. Like, okay, so I've been a Sony shooter for a very long time. I very much like Sony. So if I built up a really big Sony following and then Panasonic comes out with a fire camera, and they've had great products for a long time now. I'm giving Panasonic can't talk. Panasonic their props. But Sony fanboys or whoever that doesn't want to support, they'll be like, "Nah, it's not. It can't be all that good. There's got to be like why you switching up on us? Not switching up,
Right.
just is what
Just
it is. It can be a toxic community.
it all is, right? I mean,
Yeah,
you can sit there and
Apple
go,
or
"Oh yeah,
Android. That's what.
I
Yeah,
yeah, Apple or Android." But you can sit there and you can be a bodybuilder that suddenly goes, "Oh, I want to go the hybrid route. I want to run in the mornings and then lift in the afternoons." And there's always going to be somebody that's like, "Oh, how dare you do that?
how
I
dare
thought
you?
you were just going to lift. You're going to lose all your gains, bro." Or you sit there and go, "Hey, I've been a Nike sneaker wearing, running sneakers person. I tried out some new Asics or some new Adidas
Mm,
out, and there's going to be somebody being like, "I can't believe you switched over to Adidas, man. I'm
yeah,
Nike for life. How dare you? I'm unsubscribing. You say you're a real runner. You're not a real run." It's crazy, but it's
yeah.
it's all there,
You-
right? It's
You're not
just
a real. You're
it's
not a
the
real
unfortunate.
this. You're not a real this if you don't use brand that. So I'm going to shut down the
Exactly.
conversation for everything that's brand that because it's immediately invalid. Right?
Yep. But then
Crazy.
there's other people that sit there and go, "Oh, this is just an ad for Adidas." That's
You're a
another thing
shill.
too.
You're
Oh,
a
you
shill.
you sold out.
You sold
You
out.
sold out because you got paid by Adidas to wear these sneakers and run 20 miles in them and give a review.
That's the
Um,
only explanation.
what if I did? So I tried it. I made a bag. Don't ask
Okay.
me how I make my money. You see what I'm
Okay.
saying? It's
Okay.
content. It's content for you. And you never know. You might see those sneakers and go, maybe I should try them. You know, that's it. But some people don't see it like that. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? So
Closed ears, closed eyes.
it is crazy. But like that's the thing. When it comes to YouTube and social media, I was just having a conversation with a friend of mine last night. The platform is very personal because it's not like we're behind some huge media company that's telling us what to say and how to say it. And we're on at this specific time and all that. We're
Hmm.
reading these comments, we're interacting with people in a personal way. So I know that some of these people, a lot of people, will look at that information and be, they feel attached. They feel
Mm.
connected to that person because we are coming to them in a more authentic way, especially when it comes to the news. We're talking about whatever's going on and we're saying what we think off the rip. We're not reading a teleprompter and saying, and putting all this, piecing all these things together and being told by Rupert or some billionaire what you can and can't say and
Yeah.
cut out this line and put this line in and propaganda, propaganda, propaganda. So I get it that there's going to be visceral reactions to anything that's being talked about on the internet, whether you are Team Diddy or not Team Diddy, Team
Mm.
Trump, Team Harris, whatever, Team Nike, Team Adidas,
Team Hawk
Team
Tula?
Team Haktua, Team Canon, Team Sony, any of those
Yeah.
things. There's gonna be,
DJI?
there's always going to be, a visceral reaction to a lot of these situations and a lot of these things that we talk about on a daily basis. But I do also feel that there are some moments where people can just chill out just
Yeah.
a little bit because it's really not all that
Not that
serious. And
serious. Not
at
that
the end of the
serious.
day, at the end of the day, even when it comes to political, even when it comes to any of those things, it's like, okay, that's how you feel. Cool. But is it really going to change a whole lot?
In life,
If you can
how,
if you can answer that question, bet. If you can't answer that question, then tranquilo. You see what I'm saying?
yeah,
But that's just
yeah.
me, you know?
Hey man, so I think we got to go through a lot. I'm gonna have to make some other things happen here, but we should have one of these chats again.
Yeah.
We should definitely have one of these chats again. Someone said I need to have you show me a special button that you just found, you just discovered. Is that a joke?
No, it's not
Debbie
a joke.
said, okay,
Hold on. Let me see if I got him.
okay.
No, that's not it.
Definitely want to hit that, Debbie, before we bounce.
Can you hear this?
Nope, that is
No.
never. Let's not do that.
Oh, you can hear this.
That is
Happy
wow.
Halloween.
For everybody who's
Yes.
Or this. Gotta love this. Love
Wow.
it. Love it. I love pumpkin spice lattes.
Hold on. Don't talk about the pumpkin
day.
spice. I love some pumpkin spice.
You a basic bee too? Oh my god.
Yeah.
So basic.
Oh wow. This
What's
yep.
another one?
This is another one. It's not so good. Hold on.
So everyone
Clean
who
up
stayed
on
for this
aisle
portion.
7. Clean
Oh,
up
wow.
on aisle 7.
Oh,
We
no.
have a blue special on tuna cans. $1 for 7. $1 for 7. We have a young boy here. He's looking for his mommy. No?
So anybody that stayed to this portion,
Anyway.
you guys are getting the last minute special treat. That was
No. So
special.
real quick, because you did have something in here.
What's up?
So big future goals.
Oh, yeah.
Let's talk about that really,
talk
really
about
quick.
Let's talk about it.
You also talked about you also asked about Roy Jones. Okay, real quick.
We could listen. We could talk about the Roy Jones because I got
Okay, let's talk about the Roy Jones. Let's talk about
Roy Jones.
Let's talk about it. What do
So
you got to ask?
that interview, we traveled out. We spent some time. We went a couple different places. We had to wait longer than was anticipated, and some of the interview itself, he seemed a little short. Tell us your take.
Okay, he didn't like me at all. Let's just say that. Let's be completely straight funky. He did not like me at all. I mean, it's so many years ago now, so I could say what I need to say. He did not like me. It was
Hmm.
not one of the best interviews I've ever had. It was probably one of the worst experiences I've had in an interview in a very, very long time.
Okay.
He was, well, I think ever, to be real. Everybody's been kind. He was just he was in some sort of mood. He did not like me at all.
Do you think it
Um,
was a training
but
thing? Do you think maybe he was just tired?
I mean, I think he was tired.
Because he was in
I will
training
say
camp.
that he was definitely in training camp, but he was a lot more warm and kind to Lionel than he was to the person who was actually interviewing him. He looked at
Yeah.
me like I was the doggone enemy, and I didn't understand. But then on top of that, I mean, they were like, "You got to get everything ready so we can knock this thing out." I'm thinking we're going to be gone, and next thing you know, I mean, and I got to say something after this, but
Oh,
next thing
yeah.
you know, we're standing around for like, what was it, like 13 hours or something crazy like that,
It
where
was a
we
very long time.
finally got a chance to interview him. And then when we interviewed him, he was very much like, we got to get this done quickly. And so all the pieces of questions, all the questions that I wanted to ask him pretty much got thrown out the window. So it was the interview from hell from my point of view because of many, many different things. And I do want to say, and I've said this to you profusely already, Sess,
Yes.
but you and the rest of the guys that were there, that were a part of the shoot, you guys were so cool and so patient. Because I even, and there's another part to this too. But listen, guys, I went in. We drove up to his training compound.
Right.
We met him first thing in the morning. We drove all the way up, 13 hours or something like that. I think it
Long
was like
drive.
10 to 12 hours, something crazy like that. I rented a car, we got the whole crew, we drove all the way up there, went to his compound. And I'm super hyped because we stayed the night. We got up the next morning really early, got up to his compound, which was another hour away from where we were staying at. And then I meet him, and he was just
Yeah.
it was bad. And he was just not happy about meeting me. He was cool with everybody else, but he just did not want anything to do with me, which was weird. Then
Yeah. It
we
wasn't great
then
energy.
it was not great energy at all. It was 15,000 thumbs down. But anyway, we thought that we were going to be doing an interview right then and there. And then they said, "No, he's got to go to another place to do to train." But then we looked at this as an opportunity, like, hey, no, 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 no. Here's an opportunity for us to go and be a fly on the wall while he trains. So
And we
that
went there.
part was fire. It was
Yeah.
amazing. We got a chance to see him in his element training. We got to film that. I got to ask him some questions on the side while he was, and that was cool. But he still wasn't having it. He still was not vibing with me. So I was
Hmm.
like, all right, fine. So then they said, go ahead, get back up to the compound, which was an hour away, set up, and we'll be there. And, just be ready. Just have everything lit up, set up, ready to go so that when he walks in, you're knocking it out. We go, okay, bet. So we
And we
go up
stand things
there,
up.
we stand things up, we get everything set up, and then we
Yep.
sit and we wait for
Wait.
hours.
It was the worst hurry up and wait
Hours
ever.
ever. Now,
Yeah.
I had other guys here that had jobs. They had things to go do the next day. When he finally showed up was when we were supposed to already be on the road. We were supposed
Yeah.
to be halfway back home by then. So I'm sitting there. This is the stress of it. That's the stress of it. I was sitting there looking at my guys, Sess included, being like, "I am so sorry, guys. Let's get this interview. I'm so sorry. Don't worry. I'm gonna drive all the way back. Don't worry about it. I'm gonna drive all the way back." So, and not sleep a wink. So we sat there for hours. And then finally, he shows up. And he's like, let's do this. Let's do this thing. Where's my mic? Where's my mic? And, Sess,
Just in
God
a
love him.
rush.
God love you. You walked over, you're trying to put it onto him. He's like, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. So then suddenly, all of a sudden, it's like, hey, I'm here with the man, the legend, the GOAT, Roy Jones Jr. What's up, man? And all of a sudden, his demeanor was like, middle finger, F you, I don't want nothing to do with you. As soon as the camera came on, thank you so much. It's great to be here. Huh? This was not you at all, homie.
Yeah.
This was not you at all, cabron. Okay, though, we're going to ride with this. It's nice to see this side of you. So
Yeah.
we started talking. But then, oh my God, he starts to get up. He's done with the interview.
Yeah.
So he gets up. I haven't even finished talking to him yet. I'm still saying a sentence, still finishing a sentence. He's like, yeah, yeah. And he gets up. Nice to meet you. He's like, let me take this mic off and all that stuff. And I'm like, wow, that wasn't even. So I waited all this time and I got 15 minutes from you. Wow, I didn't even get a chance to talk to you about anything except the fight and a few other things, sprinkles.
So much
I was
driving
like,
and setup and
so
waiting and
for a puff piece, for crying out loud. And I said, wow, this is terrible. So because of that, and the guys were like, yo, we're here to get this big fish. We're here to catch this big fish. This is a big fish. For all of us, it was a big fish. It was, one of the biggest names we've interviewed.
Very
ever.
excited going into it. All of us were.
We were hyped.
It was a don't meet your heroes moment.
Yes, it was, and I've had many of those. I've had many of those experiences. One day we're gonna have a conversation about that. But
stay tuned.
I sat there and I'm like, wow, this is insane. He was such a dick to me. And then suddenly now he's being, the lights are on, the cameras are on. He's smiling. He cuts me off at the end. So at the end of the interview, if you go and check it out, we had to cut around it so that it looked like he was still sitting there, but he wasn't. He gone. We got a photo with him. That was cool. And then he was like, y'all need to get out of the ring because I got to train my guys. Yeah. Wow. Okay.
Yep. And the dude was on standby. Yeah, it was not it was not a pleasant experience. It was not a pleasant experience.
By the time we got done, the sun was down, it was dark outside, and now I got a beeline all the way back home so that my guys can get to work, go get their kids, go be parents, be dads, whatever it may be. So I drove throughout the night to get home to get these guys back to the respective cars so that they can go home as well. So for me, that experience I'll never forget because I hope, knock on wood, I never get, because I told myself, I'm like, one day Roy Jones Jr. is going to sit here and say, wait, I want to sit with Pascal again, but he going to know my name. He going to know who I am, and he going to respect me, because that time was not respectful at all. It hurt. Yeah. And, but that's the thing, especially when you get to that place, or when you are on your way up, you're trying to get that next interview and and you're trying to build your repertoire. Yeah. And be a name out here that people can actually take seriously. Like, Pascal's the real deal. Okay. Or such and such is the real deal. I do want to sit across from him, that kind of thing. I get it that we got to cut our teeth from time to time, but that one was there was a level of disrespect that really I still carry with me to this day. Cause I'm like, I never want that to ever happen to me or to my crew ever again. Cause we deserve better. We deserve better.
Yeah, no, and I can tell you really from the crew standpoint that we appreciated your demeanor. I know that this wasn't you think this wasn't something that you expected or really had any influence or input. It's just how he came. That was how he showed up. But you still showed up and kept your composure. You did what you had to do, professionalism, like we said earlier, and like honestly, that's what I appreciate, because listen, we can only handle what we can handle, right? We can only control what we can put our hands on, and then outside of that, you just have to kind of roll with the punches. So you pivot and do what you can. But even those experiences, though, even the negative experiences, you fail forward. It's like, you still learn and grow. Those are still valuable experiences.
Oh, absolutely. You know, I cut
Very.
my teeth. At the end of the day, we all cut our teeth, and we
Yeah,
all have a story now to talk about to this day. And now, even I just said it earlier, I will never let that be a thing ever again. You know,
yeah,
I understand a celebrity or a name being a little bit late or something of that sort. There's always going to be room for error. You got to allow that. But when it comes to that kind of situation where it's like, wow, you are treating us like we are an afterthought. That is a level of disrespect that is beyond me, because I could have easily turned that interview into something completely different, and I
true.
didn't. I still kept the respect on the table. We didn't have respect at all, which really frustrates the hell out of me. But I also know that if I started losing my cool in front of you guys, in front of the crew,
Mm,
then you guys would start losing your cool. And then the whole shoot would have gone down. It would have gone down like the Titanic. And I
yeah,
didn't want that to happen because, you know, I'm the leader at that moment. You
right.
guys look to me to see how I'm reacting. So for
Yep.
me, it was, I'm going to try to keep it cool. I'm going to try to have a good time. Yes, everyone's frustrated and they're going, where the hell is he? Absolutely, I understand. But now is the time to step forward
Lock
and try
in.
to lead and try to lead by example.
Yeah.
So I didn't talk, you know, of course we talked about it briefly in the car on the way back, but I kind of was like, I'm not going to trip. I will trip when I get home. First off, let's get this fish. Let's get
Get the
this big
job done.
fish. Let's
Yeah.
get the job done. Let's
Yep.
get this not, you know, like new notch on the bedpost and move on, right?
Yep.
Because I know that we just learned something. This would never happen again. And
Right.
if it ever does happen again, I have a different way of getting things going, because that's never going to happen um, again, ever. Because there's now I feel there will be respect on whoever wants to sit across from me. Um, and that's why, like, for example, we were just talking about DMC. Uh, he's coming through and he's like, yeah, I want to sit down with Pascal again. And that's amazing. He's asking to sit down again.
Yeah. Yeah.
That says something, you know. But like I said, I know for a fact, as we start to grow, as we start to put out the work, we step forward in positivity, we step forward in love. Other people will see that and also say, yeah, I want to sit down with him. He's great. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
his crew is really nice. Everybody's really cool. We always have a good time. And so that's basically that situation.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
also want to say, Debbie said this too when Pascal interviewed Chris Brown's mom. Were you there, Sess? No, he wasn't. I shot that whole thing myself.
Yeah.
Um, so, but just real quick on that story, Joyce is fantastic. She's a wonderful individual. First met her, she said, "There's a vibration, there's a vibe about you that I really feel so comfortable with you. I'm willing to do an interview with you." That's literally what she said. So I went back. I met her one time. I was hosting a fashion show, and then she said, "I'm willing to sit down with you. Just tell me when." Man, I flew back home. I packed some stuff up, and I flew my black ass back out there. And I sat down with her, and I was able to have that interview because she felt comfortable with
Yeah.
me, you know, and I was able to knock out that interview. I was lucky to be able to knock out that interview. But yeah, I did not have a crew at that time. I used one of Sess's cameras. That's for show. He was kind enough to lend me a camera for that shoot. But yeah, it's always about putting out that positive energy and being. I mean, I'm just being me. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
I'm not faking the funk. I'm just me.
Yeah.
I like
Exactly.
people, and people, you know, if they like me, they like me. If they don't, like Roy Jones Jr. did not like me, it is what it is.
Bye.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. It is what
Like,
it is.
you just do the thing, right?
Yeah.
But as far as future stuff, I mean, I got some
Tell me.
plans.
Yeah. Okay. Let's go into it.
You know, I got some dreams, man.
I
I got some
have a
dreams.
dream.
Every man gotta have a dream. So I got some dreams about putting something new to the to the show. There's certain elements that I used to have on back in the day when you were with me, you know, when we were running around, running and gunning, running and gunning. There's
Right.
certain elements of that show and elements of the show that I'm doing right now that I'm trying to create a hybrid,
Okay.
trying to create a mix. Um, so I'm working on that. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So
It sounds like you're weaving and sorting between what you want to say, what you want to reveal, and what you want to keep tight to the vest.
exactly, because I don't want to
Okay.
say a whole lot. Okay,
Yeah.
I don't want to say a whole lot, but there's certain elements that I'm trying to create so that because there's certain elements that I loved about the old stuff, and there's stuff that I really
You're
love
talking about
about the
the
new
couch
stuff.
and table talk
Ish,
style? No.
ish,
Okay.
ish.
Ish.
But but it's more than just that. It's more than just a couch and a table.
Mm-hmm.
Because every show, shoot, I got a couch and a table in this video right now.
Okay. Okay.
You don't see it?
Mm-hmm. Yep. There
And
it is.
this is a table that I have everything on. This is not all floating. This camera's not
Oh.
floating by itself. You know, I'm not using telekinesis or anything. So some variation of that, but there's certain
Okay.
elements in those shows that is beyond just the couch and the table
Mm-hmm.
that I want to bring into the show. It's just some other moving parts that I want to put together, but
Yeah.
it's just going to take a little bit of time.
Okay.
And money.
And
It's
money.
money.
And
It's
money. Because I'm
money at
not free,
the end of
y'all.
the day. No,
I
you
got
ain't.
kids, y'all.
Yeah, he got things. You know, we got bills to pay. We all got bills to
We
pay.
all have bills. Yeah, exactly.
You know, and so for me, that's the thing that I'm trying to like. It's let me just say this. I really love um
Lamp.
no, no, no. I really love stop. I really love the elements of what I'm doing here in this room.
Okay.
And there's just a few sprinkles of things over on the old stuff that I like, that I want. Because let's be real, the late night show thing is dead. It's dead.
Okay.
No one's doing that anymore. I mean, there's still TV shows that are doing it, and they're holding on to it for dear life. But nobody's really watching that ish no more.
I was
Nobody
tuning
wants
into
that.
Trevor Noah, but it wasn't the time of day. It was just because I love some Trevor Noah.
I mean, Trevor Noah's dope. He's
Yeah.
hilarious. He's good. He's hilarious. All that stuff. But it feels so good to see Jon Stewart back in that seat
It
again.
does. It does.
So
I like him.
he's great
Yeah.
as well. They're both great in their own right. But at the same time, that's the thing. What he does is basically kind of this, like the Daily Show is kind of like the same approach, but not entirely the same approach that I'm looking to try to do.
Okay.
There's things that I want to put into the show, like I said, that I haven't been able to do on a regular basis. But that takes moving parts, that takes money to be able to get those moving parts moving.
Mhm.
Because again, I mean, F it, I'll say this. I really I miss doing my skits. I miss doing the parodies. You know, I miss that side of me that I used to
Okay.
bring to the show. So I'm trying to bring those things to the show. But also keep what I'm still doing here. Keep still the same elements that I'm doing right now. That's something I'm trying to do,
Yeah.
if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
But also, it's like I just saw your comment here, but it's also like bringing you back into it, right? It's those elements that I miss. That's what I mean. It's just those elements,
Yeah.
bringing those elements into the show, still being able to bring in. And I'm not sitting here saying a skit and a parody every single day. I'd go insane. But if I come up with something that's funny and we're able to
Mhm.
knock it out, then we knock it out. You see what I'm saying?
I have a
And
memory.
so on and so forth. Go ahead.
I have a memory. Okay. Do you remember? Because I don't want to say his name. I want you to.
Say his name if I have to. What is it?
So you remember when we were shooting? Where were we? Top floor of
Yep.
the Demetrius Center,
Yep.
and someone didn't want to go up the stairs, and
Oh yeah.
also stole one of your
Man.
jokes.
Oh that guy. Oh yeah. Yeah.
He stole.
Faison.
Actually, he stole a couple because I went and saw him just to hang and
Boy, yeah. Faison Love.
yeah.
Faison Love.
He straight up stole your I don't remember what it was, but it was something that you said that day, and he said the exact same thing at his comedy show. I think it was at the Funny Bone that night.
Yeah, it was a joke about it was a joke on Trump, if I'm correct. Because we were having a
I'm
conversation
not
on the
sure.
show, and then we were just kind of having this banter back and forth, and then I just threw out a joke, and it actually made him laugh, and I was like,
Yeah.
oh, because he was kind of being a jerk. He was being a jerk.
He'll be a little bit of a jerk. Yeah.
He was being a jerk. Because I was throwing him softball questions. I wasn't going in on him, and also
Yeah,
he was
it was a light conversation
at first. But
at
the
first.
thing is he was my first celebrity interview on that show. So at first,
I thought you had John Witherspoon before him.
No, John Witherspoon was
we did that
way after that. But
Okay.
but like I was trying to say, he was just, I was a little nervous. I'm going to be real. I was a little nervous because I was like, I don't know what I can and can't say, because I've been done my research on this mother lover. And sometimes, if you ask the wrong question, he just goes in. So I'm asking him the question, some questions, just kind of getting things warmed up. And he's like, man, what kind of show is this? You ain't going to ask me no questions? I'm like, yeah, I'm going to ask you some questions. And then I just threw him a zinger.
And then okay, I remember that. It's been a while. I think I still have the shots on my phone. I think I took a couple. Man, that was. I'm thinking back to the gear we were using back then. I'm thinking back to the streaming boxes that we had sitting on top, and sometimes they wouldn't talk to each other. And man, that was back in my Canon days. Woo! Fun times.
I don't miss those days. And I miss those days.
But it built character.
So I'm sitting there going, okay, like even Anno Domini is sitting there. Pascal always asks questions before going in. Yeah, because I'm like, hey, welcome to my crib in a way. Welcome to the show.
My house.
Let's get you comfortable. Let's talk, and I will be real. We were one of the first, at least in our neck of the woods, doing a podcasty type of daily show. So it was one of the first in this neck of the woods. So I'm like, I'm going to have a conversation with this guy, and it's an opportunity to talk to him, not just be on here and go, isn't he great? He's great. Talk to him for 8 minutes and then throw it to a Dove commercial. I actually get a chance to actually talk to him in a podcasty type of style. So he came up, he was angry about going up a flight of stairs. They are some stairs.
It was 2 flights of stairs, but they were,
it's one flight. I consider that one flight of stairs where it goes like that. It goes like this.
A little zigzag.
The flight, something like that. It's a zigzag. I see that as a flight of stairs. So I could be wrong. That could be 2. I see it as 1. But anyway, he went up. He was angry. So because he was hot and sweaty. And it's a flight of stairs.
He was promoting a movie.
He was there to promote some work. He was there to promote a stand-up show that he was doing down the in town as well that weekend and all that. And he was just kind of in a sour mood right off the bat. And then we sat down, and then he was just who he was. Threw out some jokes, and then he said, "Let me take that." And real talk, he took that and used it in his stand-up. And I was like,
I will tell you, because I was at the stand-up. Oh man, I don't know if I should say that. I was there. It wasn't his best moment. I'm sure he's had better stand-ups. I just want to believe he's had better stand-ups.
He probably has.
Yeah,
he probably has had better moments. better
than
shows.
The one that I saw.
It is what it is. but he was he was definitely an experience. But
Yeah.
I'm glad I did it. I'm glad I had that interview because it was like, all right, if any of them are anything like him, then I'm prepared. Then I'm ready. But not everyone, not everyone gets into the ring the same way.
Right.
Every person's a little bit different. He wanted to go straight into controversy for some weird reason. He wanted me to throw zingers at him. So I'm like, all right, let's go into the zingers parts. Then
Well,
he
if
started
you're looking for a
and he
viral
started to
moment,
respect me. But that's when he started to respect me.
okay.
Other than that, he was like, "Oh, you just give me softball questions." Oh, that kind of thing. But what were you gonna say? I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Well, I was gonna say, sometimes people are looking for those memeable moments, those little bits, those viral moments and clips.
No doubt. And
So
I didn't but here's the thing. I didn't think about that at that time. And honestly, nowadays, it's kind of like that. Everyone's
yeah.
trying to get that everyone's trying to get that sound bite that goes viral.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's trying to get that question, throw out that question that's going to make
Mm-hmm.
them feel some type of way or get that guttural reaction. Kind of like what happened with Jennifer Lewis and the Kanye West question.
Kanye
I
quote.
didn't know,
Yeah.
I did not know it was going to be
Blow up
that.
so big. Mm-hmm.
I did not know, but I
Still out there,
knew
guys, if you
it
want to check it
came
out, if you haven't seen it.
absolutely, absolutely, but I
All of these,
knew
everything that we've talked about, you haven't taken down any of these, have you? The
none.
Larry Reid interview is still up. The 4K.
Everything's up.
Yeah.
Everything's up. All in, no, not all of them in 4K, but a lot of them
Mostly.
are.
Yeah. The
But
Run
but
DMC interview, definitely check out the DMC interview.
absolutely. But when it comes to that, with with her talking about the Kanye West thing, I didn't know until she started talking.
Mm.
And then when she started talking, I go, "Oh my damn. This is a viral video."
This is big. Yeah.
Instantly. So I was like,
Yeah.
I need to get home. I need to get this thing up there. So I cut it, threw it up, and then it went viral. I knew it was a viral moment.
Yeah.
I just had to make sure it got out there.
Yeah.
I didn't ask her the question because I wanted that reaction. I didn't know. She wrote in her book about Kanye and her disdain, her distinct disgust for this man. So I was like, okay, we got to talk about that. And then it became a
And
viral
also
moment,
talked about mental health, which was really
and
important.
which is really, really important. She talked about that at great lengths, especially with Kanye. And Kanye was
Mhm.
popping at that time because of all
Yeah.
the stuff that he was flying off the handle at that time.
Yeah.
So because of that, that's why that's why you notice a lot of people are all trying to get that soundbite. And that's why
Yeah.
you see a lot of celebrities not wanting to do interviews anymore because they go, no, no, no. I ain't doing an interview because I'm scared that you're going to take something, cut it
Out of
up,
context,
make
blow it
it, take
up.
it out of yep, make it a viral video, and then I'm going to
Right.
be in the doghouse because I said something that I didn't fully say, type of thing. So
Yes.
that's why you see a lot of celebrities not really willing to do full interviews anymore. That's
Yeah.
why you see a lot of them comfortably and safely going on to these talk shows with like the Kelly Clarksons and the Jimmy Fallons because it's scripted. They know
Mm.
exactly what the questions are going to be. All they got to do is answer them. And there's no way that you can cut it around and make it seem like he said aliens are taking over the world. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. I got a question for you because Debbie
Shoot.
said something. Actually, no, I have a question for everybody in the chat. If we were to do a regular Cess and Pascal, because we've had this ongoing running joke, milk duds in the morning, because we're both
Oh, dear
bald,
God.
right? Milk duds in the
Yeah.
morning. So chat,
Yeah.
please, if it's not milk duds in the morning, what would it be called? Because it's not always going to be in the morning, probably, maybe. But what would it be called? Pascal, are you open to such a proposition? Are you open to that type of opportunity, sir?
I'm not saying no to it.
Ah,
I'm not saying no to it. No, no, no. I'm not saying no to it. It's just called time.
yeah,
Time is not always on my side.
I get that.
So
I feel that
and
100%.
you out here adulting and you out here parenting as well. So it's really it's about time. It's about time, not it's about time, man. No, It's
He's been
about
telling me it's about time
timing
lately, but that was in regards to
to
starting
your
Lynn's Life and
channel.
really getting consistent with that.
And by the way, guys, if you haven't done this yet, I'm gonna do you the favor because you suck at this, Sass. You need to work on this,
Listen,
baby.
hold on.
Watch.
Go
No,
ahead.
no, no. Shush, shush, shush. Learn. Watch,
Ah,
consume, learn. Use those eyes
okay.
and those ears. Learn
Mm,
this really quick.
mm.
If you haven't done this yet, guys, please go. First off, hit the like button down below on this video right now. If you're enjoying the conversation, please and thank you. This man is going to be putting out a lot more content. Everything from about making content to cameras to photography, because he's a phenomenal photographer, by the way.
I appreciate
Trust
you.
me, this man is fire with his camera. So please go make sure you hit that like button down below if you appreciate the conversation. Please make sure you subscribe to this channel, okay? Because he's got a lot more coming. And yeah, I think you guys
Yeah.
will really appreciate his channel because I know a lot of the people who are here are from my channel. So I appreciate you guys coming in here. Subscribe here because he's got some really great stuff coming up. Now
Yep.
that's how you do that, my baby.
That's how you do it. Listen,
That's
I
how you
don't
do
have
it.
my buttons set up. I don't have my graphics in yet. Okay.
It
I
doesn't
will by
matter.
the next time we have it. This is my promise to you. By the next time that we do this, I'm gonna have some stuff together. We're gonna throw some graphics up there. We're gonna
But
have
I'm
some fun.
telling my Negro, it doesn't matter. You just say it. Say it out loud
Well,
and
I mean,
say,
that's
hey, hit the like button down below.
hit the
Hit
like,
that subscribe.
hit
That's
subscribe,
it.
all
My
of it.
brother.
Do it
That's
now.
it.
Double tap.
See? Double tap. There it is. Pop, pop. Okay. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's really about timing for me because I'm doing so much. Really? So it's just a matter of being able to do that. Of course, I'd love to
Okay.
do something with you. Of course, but that's the thing. That in my mind, I'm like, hey, it'd be really great to have you on my show. But you know,
Yeah.
that's what I mean by the sprinkles of elements of what I had back in the day
Yeah.
brought back into, you know what I mean, bringing those implementing those back into my show again, right?
Yeah. For sure.
You know, but still doing what I'm doing right now, you know, just a tiny bit different,
Yeah.
you know, just tweaking things a little bit so that
Right on.
keeps
Sounds like
it keeps
sounds
interesting.
like you have a plan, or at least concept of a plan. You got a
Yeah.
concept of a plan.
No, well, here's the thing. The plan has always been here. It's about being able to financially support that plan.
Got you.
It's always been there because it's going to be exactly what we've done before. It's just much more scrunched down.
Yeah.
But I also understand that people's time means money too.
Okay.
So I can't just sit here and go, let's do this, and then put myself in a financial hole. Hell no. So it just has to make sense, you know? It just has to make sense. So exactly, Debbie. It's baby steps, you know, it's
Baby
just
steps.
taking one step towards it and seeing where it goes. But yeah, it's just but I also believe that if you build it, they will come. I know that sounds really cheesy, but I do believe in that as well.
Yeah. You're
You
dating
know?
yourself, sir.
Huh?
You're dating
That's a
yourself.
how am I dating myself when that's a classic movie? Like it's like it's like if I said to the moon, Alice. So now I'm 90. Now I'm
All
90
right,
years
I
old.
guess. I guess you got a point.
It's a classic. It's a
It's a
classic.
classic.
But I do believe in if you build it, they will come.
Yeah.
And I've proven that time and time and time again. So really, it's a matter of being able to do it. And also the other thing too is space. Finding a space.
Well,
That's the thing. That's the biggest
yeah.
hiccup.
That's an ongoing challenge. Different reasons. I get that. Like it would be nice to go into a setup, press go, start. Just press the power button. Everything start rolling. But you know, I'm a solopreneur. We shoot a lot together, but you know,
No
it's
doubt.
my stuff that I set up and take down. Lights, cameras, you know, the audio stuff. We set it up and take it down every time wherever we go. It would be nice to have something preset that's good quality
Mhm.
and not 90s broadcasting quality.
Yep. That would be fire. I
Yeah.
mean, and that's the thing. It's just being able to have that set up in a way so that the turnaround isn't like one thing I really would love to see happen.
What's that?
You know, we talk about dreams, man. I have dreams.
Dreams.
Okay, dreams. Here are the dreams. A space where I can do this stuff.
Chat with
Everything's
the
everything's there.
Yeah.
We don't have to bring no cameras in every day. Because back in the day, ladies and germs, let me tell you a little story about me and Sess. Me and Sess go way back.
Way back.
Way back as far as production goes. We've been around working with each other for a long time. His skills have gotten phenomenally better he's grown. I'm not saying he was bad back in the day. He was always phenomenal, but his equipment has gotten even better. Now, here's the thing. Back in the day. We're going to move on from that because why? Why, Sess?
Yeah, don't stop. Keep going.
I'm going to stop on that too. That sounds weird. Don't stop. Keep going.
Don't. You made that weird. You made that weird. I didn't make that. So listen, we go back. We go back. It's gotten better.
Anyway, it's gotten better. But here's the thing. Back in the day, we didn't have a space. So let me tell you this crazy story. If you went all the way back to the old archives of the Pascal and the morning shows, all that stuff, we would go Anu, laughing does reduce pain. Congratulations. Good on you for knowing that. But here's the thing. Back in the day, we used to go to any nook, cranny, corner, side place, whatever, to do the show. So every day almost, we were hopping from a church to a coffee shop to a bar to a bookstore we were doing this show anywhere we could find because we did not have a space to do the show out of.
A home.
So we did not have a place to call home and hang our hats on. So we would go break down and set up every single morning. Now, here's the thing. That is hell on earth. I hated it. Sure, it was fun doing what we needed to do and getting the show done. But it was what we were doing at that time. So, and the budget was, because I know Nicole B just said maybe rent a small office. LOL. Yeah, I wish it was easier. I wish that was the case. But we didn't have that kind of budget. We didn't. So we just made do with what we had. And we just kept moving because we wanted to do a show. Mm-hmm. I really loved what I did. I still love what I do. And so I was doing everything I could to keep the show and this ship moving. So that's what we did for a long time. And then finally, things changed because the show turned into a radio show. So we were on the radio for a little bit, and that was right before the pandemic happened. And then the panty happened, and then we were all locked up, and this is why I'm in this room now. But I don't ever want to go back to that, where we're hopping from room to space to space to space to space. Where are we shooting at tomorrow, guys? That kind of thing. Never want to do that. And also don't want to ever go through the situation of having to set up and break down every damn show. That
say that again. Absolutely.
I'd rather have the cameras already there, set up, everything's put together. We don't have to do a damn thing. It's right there.
And we don't have to worry about the security of the cameras.
Boom. That's the
Where were we where they moved our stuff?
Man, everywhere. Demetrius spot.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
there was another spot before that too, before I even met you, where I had a studio. I actually had a studio space. But the problem was that every time I came in, my lights, my cameras, all the things that I had would be in different areas. There'd be, and it was also a recording studio too. Mm-hmm. So we shared a space with a recording studio, and a lot of the people that were going in that space, were rappers and aspiring musicians, but I'd always come back in, and the set that I would have set up would be in disarray. There'd be Swisser Sweet rappers all over the ground, tall boys, Four Locos all over the place. I'm like,
Not
what
the
is
Four
going on?
Locos. Not the Four
The
Locos.
Oh, I'm not kidding. Four Locos, and there'd be tall boys everywhere, to the point where you're like, I can't do this all the time. If I
Yeah.
bring in a guest or maybe a possible sponsor for the show, and they walk
They're
in and
looking
all they
at it
see
like,
is
what is this mess?
empty baggies and tall boys strewn about with Swisser Sweets and everything still smelling like them trees.
Mm.
How can I do that? How can I do that every day? So that's when we moved and we found a different space. But
Yeah.
like I said, we just did whatever we could to make things happen. And now we're in a different place. So for me, it's like being able to have all the equipment there right in one spot, knock it all the way out, not have to worry about you carrying everything in your car, you know,
Yeah.
from that wear and tear, constantly doing
Yeah.
stuff, just having everything there. So that's what I mean by there's more to this than just me turning to you and going, hey, I just want you to, come in. I got a space. I need you to set up all this stuff, so on and so forth. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Things, there's some things that need to be put in place so that there's less work on the day to day, because I'm already doing daily shows, as you already know. You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
So, but yeah, we went through some things, and we put in the work. We love what we do, but now my plan and my goal is to take this whole thing to that next level.
Yeah. A whole
So yeah,
nother level.
whole nother level. Yeah, I mean that's the goal.
Yeah. That's awesome. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to being there, helping make it happen, and get that magic out there into the world.
Yeah, I mean, you guys, Sess is very, very good at what he does. And it's always been an honor to have him not only as a close friend, but also as a close co-creator on 90% of the stuff I've done over the past few years. A lot of these things would not exist. A lot of these ideas that I have are in my brain. And a lot of these things would not be out there if it wasn't for him dedicating his time and his creative expertise on these things.
Appreciate
So
that.
hey, that's the truth. It's the truth. You are very good at what you do. And like I said, I can't wait for Christmas, the music video that I have out, the first original Christmas song I've ever, made.
Yeah.
He shot that whole thing himself as well. And again, that's some low budget shooting from the hip type stuff, but it ended up looking really, really nice. And it's a fun video. And that's all that matters at the end of the day, Again, I wouldn't be able to get those things done if it wasn't for Sess, helping me get those things done. One more thing.
Go.
I'm going to ask you this question.
Uh-oh.
Challenges with filming divas like Pascal. You calling me a diva? Wow.
So that's in the show notes. That's what he's referring to. And listen, he's been the most difficult bald black man that I have been working with ever. No. Actually, honestly, I'll flip it and say it's been good. It's been good. Just talking about the Roy Jones, that was a really good example of Pascal's professionalism, and we've had several different instances where you've had to pivot, you got to make adjustments, and you do keep your cool. We make things happen and we get the job done. So it's mission first. It's no messing around, and it's been a good go. So cheers to the future. I'm looking forward to making more.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, a lot of it just, I guess the challenges of working with someone like him, it's scheduling.
Hey, you too. Hold on.
No,
So yes.
No. I'm just talking on my side. Hold up.
Okay.
It's the scheduling. No.
Okay.
I'm not throwing any shade. I just buttered you up just a second ago.
Right.
I said you fire, and you are fire. And there's a lot of things like the bunny rabbit thing. Man, I was so happy that you had a bunny rabbit, like
That
that you
was
had
fun
that
because he
mask.
was trying to go with the doll. I said, "I'll do you one better," and then we did that. That was nice.
And it was fire, right?
Yeah,
But at the same time, I'm like, okay, a lot of times it has to do with scheduling. That's the
yeah,
only issue I see. It's just, he's got a lot going on, and so do I. Shoot. So it's just trying to get things done in a timely fashion, especially like when it is something that's timely. Like,
yeah.
let's just say I s- I got an idea for a skit, but it needs to be done in a timely fashion
Okay.
before certain things are take place, right?
Yep.
Now, it's really like hitting him up and be like, "When do you have time to do this? When do you have time to
This is
knock
true.
this out?" And it's like,
This is true.
"Oh man, I got this and oh man, I can't do anything on the." And I'm like, "Damn, I can't do anything on on the days that you have off too. Damn
And
it."
usually
You know
I
what I
have
mean?
my schedule, about a week-ish, maybe two ahead of time. And sometimes if Pascal's got something that's like, go, 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 we got to do it now. It's like, I can't. Yeah, I want to, but I can't. There was,
Yeah.
oh man, Zach, the Black Ranger, really wanted to come out to that. I couldn't do it. There was nothing I could do with that.
Wait. The Black Ranger?
Yeah, you remember the guy that played Zach. You had an interview with him. Black Power Ranger.
Yeah. Sorry. I was like,
You were
yeah,
there. Yeah.
Willie Jones. Now, yeah, I had to shoot that whole thing myself. That never saw the light of day. You want to know why?
Why?
You want to know why?
Why?
One of the cameras, the camera that was on him,
Uh-huh.
totally out of focus.
I didn't shoot that.
Totally,
I did
totally
not shoot that.
out of
Walter
focus.
Jones. I did not shoot that.
Walter Jones, fantastic dude, really great guy, really good guy. But yeah, that whole interview drove all the way out there, got all that stuff set up, and then didn't realize the camera was out of focus. Suddenly, I don't know, it wanted to focus on something else. So it started focusing on something not on him. So his whole face, you don't even see his face. It is just blurred. So I was
You
like,
should have just
damn it.
rescheduled it to a time that I was available. Should have just told him, "Hey, I need to shoot with Cess, and we need to move it one more day."
Yeah,
Because if
I
I was
wish I
behind the
could.
camera,
But he was actually there. He was actually in that area for a convention, Comic-Con type of a
Comic-Con.
convention. So he was only
Yeah.
there for like that one day, and he only had that time available. So he was like, "I'm sorry, man, I can't reshoot."
Yeah.
So I mean, I still
Crazy.
have the audio. And Nicole B said, "Wait, release it as a audio." Yeah, I thought about it, but then I was like, does anybody want to listen to that? I don't know. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a little old now. It's hella old now. But yeah, something to think about. Definitely something to think about. Because I've been trying to get him back on the show. He's called into the show a couple times in the past, but I was trying to get like a redo where we can actually sit down and talk again, but it hasn't happened yet. Yeah.
Well,
But
make sure
eventually.
that you check with me first, okay? And then we get it.
Yeah, it was bad. It was really bad. And also I was still getting used to and understanding the cameras. Because he gave me his cameras, two of his cameras, and it was one of them I've never really worked with before at that time. So it just suddenly I'm thinking we're good. So I went and sat down and started doing the interview, and the whole thing just went out of focus. I didn't see it, so it turned into a little bit of a nightmare because of that.
I would have just blamed the cameraman and then never told anyone that you are the cameraman.
Yeah, it was bad, but that's one of the things. That's one of the problems, one of the hiccups that you have doing the shoots yourself,
Yeah.
Because sometimes you're just doing what you need to do, and
To try to get things done.
and you can't be in two places at the same time. Sometimes the
Right.
camera stops rolling. Let's be real. Sometimes the camera stops rolling. And
Remember
you
when
didn't-
everything
didn't
had a
even know.
30-minute limit and you have to
Yep.
reset?
Yep. And you're like, oh shoot, hold on.
Yeah.
Can you say that all over again?
Can you do the
that
whole thing? There was,
that
yeah.
whole 5-minute spiel you just said? Could you just do that all over again? It was great, but I didn't get it. Can you do that again, please? So
Yeah.
yeah, it's terrible. You know, I don't recommend it. That's why you have friends
That's
like
why you have
Cess,
friends.
you know,
Yep.
to help out. You know,
Gotta source it.
yep. You just got to do what you got to do. But yeah,
I'm gonna
man.
have to roll,
You know,
brother.
I know. Me too.
Yeah, man. It's a good talk. We'll have to save some of this for the next time that we get
Yes.
together, which is gonna be
Soon.
okay, cool. It's gonna be soon, everybody. So make sure that you like and subscribe so you can be notified. And it is what it is.
It is what
Good
it
talk,
is.
brother.
Gotta love. He's just said it is what it is.
Is
But
what
yeah,
it is. I mean,
make
I
sure
could say
you
the
go subscribe.
tagline, what? Make good images, have fun doing it. I guess we have been
There
talking
you
about
go.
that. So make good images, have fun doing it. Peace.